Yes, indeed. It's always fun to celebrate the bright lights, the action, and the thrills of Nollywood. And we're, celebrating one particular movie and the, cast of the movie on this particular segment. Let's welcome Nollywood actor Tayo Faniran. Lead actor in The Fire and the Moth, of course, is featured in many other films. And Taiwo Egunjobi is a producer at The Fire and the Moth, of course, the movie that you just saw. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm going to start with you, Tayo, for good reason. I'm sure a lot of your fans, are watching and seeing you up close, maybe for the first time on set. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
You typically cut the picture of the bad boy, Casanova in the films, but I've seen your dynamism in different films. You've acted the dedicated lover, boyfriend, and you've acted the ambitious part. Talk to us about how you were able to, switch roles.
All right, so thank you very much. It's important for me to maintain a standard, all right? And my track record explains that, all right? I'm one of the, few models who have made it from Nigeria outside to model outside of the country. I've been modeling in South Africa since like 2008. I did Big Brother Africa in 2014. I'm someone who has always liked, something to be of great quality. Originality is important to me. And it's the same approach that I've applied to my acting career. I have a standard that I don't want to go below. I have the type of platforms that attract me. And at the same time, I don't want to be a mediocre actor. I make efforts to develop myself. I make efforts to make researches, to think deeply as well, and plan the type of actor that I want to be. So it comes from, to me, it's spiritual. I've prepared myself spiritually. I've already prepared the kind of person that I want to be in my mind. And when roles come, it's easy for me to identify them that, okay, this is good for the path that I'm following.
Have you ever been on a role or in a role where you thought to yourself, can I ever do this? Have you ever had a we all have those moments when it shakes us at the core. Have you had those moments before?
I haven't, actually, because just like what I said now, you see, challenges for me are opportunities for me to become greater, all right? When I see someone that is tough, that I feel like this thing is tough, it just needs me to put a little bit more effort than maybe the next person to be able to conquer this. Sometimes that place or that thing that people are running away from, at the end of it, at the other side of it, is a greatness that it's not meant for everybody. So for me, I don't see challenges. When roles come, I take it. Once I can say yes to a project, I'm giving my 100% to it. Yeah.
So talk to us now about the movie that we just saw, the Fire and the Moth. What are we to expect from the movie?
The Fire and the Moth is an African thriller, and I directed, I didn't produce it. It was produced by Nimsha Studios and Cebu Media, and it's just a story that is about our heritage, it's about our culture, and it's really an intriguing drama as well, focusing on, a smuggler that gets an Ife bronze and he runs up with it, and then the type of violence that ensues after it. So it's really just a fun film that really gives you a lot of things to think about.
Now, for directing, it seems, not just for directing now, even for the entire industry, it seems like there's, a shift, a generational shift, growing up with the Zebe Jiros, the Maswens of this world, the Chikwe Jiros of this world, and we're seeing, a shift sort of with the entry of new directors. What's the legacy? What do you find to be the legacy that has been passed on from that generation of movie directors and filmmakers, that is now, manifesting in today's Nollywood?
I think Nollywood was born out of incredible grit and entrepreneurial drive. And I think that's one thing that the new generation directors and producers have had to acquire to sustain, because we all know Nigeria is still kind of developing the infrastructure to do entertainment and filmmaking. But old Nollywood, classic Nollywood, like you call it, grew so much because they just kept going. They kept on pushing, they kept on fighting for opportunities. And that's something that I see as well in the new generation of directors, that grit to go look for the funds, to find a way to distribute the films, and to keep on doing it. It's an amazing miracle.
All right, we're not alone. We'll toss this over to our colleague in Abuja, Kade. Kade, I'm sure you have a few questions for both of them.
Absolutely. I'm tempted to just pause on the show, go watch the movie, then join you guys again, but I want to have that luxury. I must say congratulations to Taiwo, Tayo, and the whole crew.
Thank you.
It's beautiful to see the trailer, and I'm sure that even the movie, for people who eventually get to see it, and I imagine millions across Nigeria and the world, it'll be a great one. First, I must say, Taiwo, Tayo, you guys look so much alike. What's going on?
Okay, so I'll answer that. You see, when I actually read the script, I went to the set prepared, right? And then when I met the director on set, I saw him and I was like, you are Saba, the character that I've read. I saw it in him, the style, the courage and everything, so which was also helpful, for me getting to my character. So I would agree that we look alike.
And then again, he's like an elder brother to me. We found out on set that he had known my family for a long time ago, and he had been friends with my elder brother. So yes, maybe we are family in one way.
We're all Africans.
That's beautiful, guys. It's really beautiful. And your names are almost similar. Taiwo, Tayo.
Egunjobi, Tayo, Faniran. Thank you very much for paying attention to that. And
Tayo, almost similar.
Yeah.
But Taiwo, I'm curious, how were you able to get Jean on this movie? Because that's something a lot of people saw and they're like, wow. How were you able to pull that off, Taiwo?
Thank you very much. I mean, when I wrote the script, my studio that I work with, Nimja Studios, had seen the script and I had said, I'm going to use a Nigerian actor for this. And they said, no, we've read the script and we think it's good enough to go international. So we're going to look for someone who had that international clout in that sense, a veteran Hollywood actor. And so they had been friends with John for a while. John had been looking to do more things in Nigeria. And so they sent him the script and he fell in love immediately. So, and that was it, It was all studio and the script doing their work.
And I must say, just before I go back to Lagos, the title, The Fire and the Moth, is it linked to the Yoruba saying, Afopino tolong okba fitila?
Yeah, Kai is a friend from UI. Yeah, definitely. It is linked to that. I mean, Afopino, yeah, definitely. You are right on the money there. Definitely. That's the inspiration for the title.
So let's... okay.
Love it. Jeffrey.
Okay, let's come back to Lagos. Let's leave Abuja for a moment. Anyway, let's talk about something I always like to ask, and that has to do with validation. And juxtapose that to what we're building. Yeah. One of the reasons I love Nollywood, and I keep saying this all the time, when I go to cinemas, I don't like watching foreign movies. I like to watch Nollywood movies. And I want to support the industry because I've seen this industry. I've been around for a few years. I've seen it grow from ground zero to when nobody believed in them, to now everybody wants to rally around them the best way they can. But we still see a situation where actors and maybe some element of the industry try to get that Hollywood breaking. Why is that important? Both of you can answer.
Okay, so it's important, okay? Because, the world that we practice today, both of us are actually pro-Africans, all right? We're very, very intentional about being Africans. I said I lived in South Africa for 12 years. I've moved back home. This is my brother who, lives for Ibadan. You get what I'm saying, and I'm from Oyo town. Now, everything in my mind is how to go back home and do things at home and do things for home. However, it's also important for us to get our international breakthrough because that is just the highest standard that is used to measure a person's success in our career life.
That is the question and the problem, which is I want you to respond to. People feel that why do we need that validation?
So it's not so much like we need it, but because it's not a global village. Yeah. So if you're doing great films in Nigeria, at some point, you will be required to participate internationally. It's like how the music industry also had it. If you're so good doing music, it comes a time where you just almost outgrow your current context and you become a global brand. Yeah. And really, it's important for us as filmmakers to not simply play on the local field, but also play internationally, because we also need to get funds from foreign partners. We also want to open and expand our market. So it's not simply only about validation, but also about increasing and expanding the possibilities of our industry and our work. Yeah. I want to have an audience in Japan. I also want to have an audience in America. And I won't do that by simply thinking local. I also have to find a way to be global enough in how I tell stories, in how I display myself, in how professional I am, so we can all expand the industry and make it bigger for everybody to play in.
Yeah, the question is straight and your response is apt. Yeah. But do you find limitations in that space? We've had a Nigerian American on this set who is also playing in that field in America, but she's playing in her own space. She's talked about the difficulty in breaking into Nollywood, and sometimes even when African-American actors of home extraction, get into Nollywood, they get waka pass rules, so to speak. But when, the reverse is the case, there's a need for a Caucasian element in Nigerian movies. You even find them having, the lead roles. So what do you find to be the limitations of Nigerians, even our A-list actors, breaking into that space on a big scale?
As an
Maybe
actor,
you want to start, Tayo.
As an actor and someone who has worked outside of the country. Since 2008, working in South Africa, I've worked with directors from different parts of the world. All right. So I would say that it's just important for us to not lie to ourselves as actors. The industry is oversaturated, with a lot of mediocre actors. All right.
They'll come for you, I hope you know.
I don't mind, but I can tell you, people saw my growth. All right, I didn't start as a perfect actor, all right? But I found it because that is what I want to be. A lot of people don't even pay attention. They don't even, give that, time. You get what I'm saying? To sit back and say, this is how I want to be. They just want to go for the quickest thing, which is, to be commercial and to be all over the place, all right? So when it comes to international, look at South Africa. When it comes to even their music, you don't understand what they're saying, but you can hear the quality. You can hear the soul in their music. Same with the film industry as well. When they do the Lion King or Woman King. No, there's a Lion King.
Okay, of course.
There was also coming to America. You see, they're always using South African actors because there it's always been about depth. You get what I'm saying? In South Africa, it's always been about depth. When it comes to film, you would agree with me. They have always paid so much attention to, that part. You get what I'm saying? So you see the actors too. When I actually didn't even know how to be a good actor yet, the types of actors that I was admiring also mattered to who I'm shaping myself to become today. So actors shouldn't lie to themselves. You get what I'm saying? I don't think a day will come that I will have a break into the Hollywood industry and they will use me as a waka pass role because I've been tested and trusted. I know myself that even when it comes to international platforms, I can compete strongly, all right? I'll stand next to anybody. And the Fire and the Moth is a testimony to it. Go and watch it. You will see his work as a director. You will see that, okay, this person has that vibe, that substance that can take Nigerian film industry to the global stage. And when you see my character, Saba, I played with a lot of great actors, including Jimmy John Louis, who is already in Hollywood, all right? He has featured in a lot of big films, all right? And then go and watch the film, and then you see the collaborative efforts. Nobody is trying to outshine anybody or whatever, but together we made a solid piece. So what I'm telling you is that Nollywood is getting ready now. We are ready. I am ready, all right? To say, bring it on. Bring Wakanda. Bring any type of, you get what I'm saying? Come and test us. I'm one African actor, Nigerian actor that can beat his chest that I will take it on.
Sharp.
That's it.
I like the energy.
30 seconds, the same question.
I mean, I just think, you've got to just have the kind of belief he has, as an actor. If you think you deserve to have leading roles, do a project. For example, a Nigerian film is doing very well at Cannes Festival in France now. My Father's Shadow. It's all Nigerian cast, but it's winning international laurels in France right now. So it's a global village. do something great, people will eventually recognize you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show. Clearly, it's a brilliant conversation that we've had, and we're going to have some more. We've been talking with Nollywood actor Faniran and director Egunjobi. So go see The Fire and
The Fire and the
Moth.
Moth. It's coming on Prime Video on the 3rd of June.
All right.
The biggest film out of the continent right now. I can
you'll pay. Don't worry, I'll send you an invoice. I'll send you an invoice from marketing. But I want to thank you guys for coming. Okay, guys. One last one for the week before we run out. But thank you so much for your time, and of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Bye-bye.
Don't forget, Sunrise Daily is up next. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.